Hey, riders. It's December 31st, 2023, last day of the year. New Year is right around the corner. But before that, a bunch of us took part in the first ever GRC Sunday short race. Now, having said that, there have been quite a few weeks now running of our Sunday short race. We just hadn't really picked a finalized name yet, what we wanted to call ourselves. GRC is kind of a throwback to when I first got started on Rouvy. Met a couple of cool dudes. Their names are Roger and Jills. My name's Colin. You can pretty much see how I was super creative and came up with the name GRC. It's nothing special, it's just our names. And in the Discord group, I invite you all to join in with us. It's an open group, lots of cycling knowledge in there, lots of cycling chat, motivation, tips, advice. You'll learn something every day in there. So in the Discord group, we all decided let's go with GRC because, I guess people know us as that. We're the only three members of the original GRC team because there only was three. But anyway, let's get to the racing here. I've been blathering on quite a bit. This gave me just enough time in the warm to get this ready. We're in Singapore, 18.2 kilometers, 11.2 miles, 129 meters of climbing, which is 423 feet. Essentially pan flat, average gradients 1% with a 7% max. And the climbs essentially are just the little bumps over the bridges. 39 starters. Awesome for December 31st. And how, we're just getting started here. So off we go. Off to the races. Some big starts going off here. A lot of returning names. I see Jill Matteo is back again. I'm usually going to start in that 3.5 to 4 watts per kilo. And what's awesome to see here is all of our Discord members here. There's so many of them. Coming up just ahead of me here, here's a little shout out. Mumu120, brand new racer, 17 years old, son of Jill's, doing a great job out there, giving it a go as a young guy, right? Here's a new rider ahead of me, Giggar. I'm not really sure who this is. Hopefully, they caught our announcements on Facebook. Take a look up ahead. Who's this here? I'm trying to bridge across here now. I'm putting in 8 watts per kilo, trying to catch up to John here, SR71. And I kind of just whizzed right by him there, hoping he would jump on a wheel. But huge shout out to John here because prior to this, with maybe a 20-minute break before we started this race, he just did a 48-mile route of Cozumel. He's determined to get his 6,000 miles for the year. So he has to do that beforehand, do a race, and then do another full lap of Cozumel. So huge day in the saddle for him. I'm just cruising along here, hitting the first little bridge. Hey, look at that Ferris wheel to the right there. Creeping up on some riders here. I don't know their names. Up ahead, I can see Bashak right here. Now, not normal for me to be this close to Bashak at this point in the race. So maybe I went out a little bit too hard. Over to the right there, I see Hardy. And this Bike Rider 9, another new cyclist has joined us. Passing us all looking sharp. Here's Tomas 1976. I've seen that name before. Roger's trainer is right there. Roger's jumping on the back of these guys' wheels, so I'm going to go with him right away here. I think next time I'm going to change my view a little bit. The cyclist here on the left-hand side is a bit too close and a bit hidden. That's me coming out now, just getting in front of Roger. He should be able to catch a really nice draft on me going down this hill here. So yeah, just up in the distance here, we can see Bike Rider 9 coming up on my side here. Who do we have? Oh, it's Tomas 1976. I'm pretty sure I've seen this name before join us. So Tomas, if this is your second, third time around with us, good to see you back again. Just cruising along the streets here. So yeah, your little bumps are just going to be like little rises over tiny little bridges. Oh, up ahead there, I see Lars K71, another really strong rider that's joined our Discord group. I think this is Lars' second or third race with us, so really good to see him back. Cruising along, yeah, Hardy's up at the front here, just ahead of me. There's quite a few times in this race that I kind of drifted off the back. And I did notice that Hardy and Rogers at least once or twice eased off and waited for me. So thanks, guys. That's probably one of the benefits of being in, something like our Discord channel where you get to know everyone. People are friendly and they'll help you out. So Pavel Leuchten is now moving up. Another brand new name, very strong rider, just kind of whipping right past us here. So Hardy's just hanging out in front of me here. I'm just hoping on this downhill I can kind of catch up with him here. He's pushing very hard up front. Hardy's had some problems in our previous races, something to do with his setup at home. Totally legit rider, totally legit numbers. Gets disqualified virtually every race. I'm not sure why. We're trying to work on that right now. So you can see here on my left side, I've got Thomas 1976 with me. I'm going to take a draft where I can. You can see the draft on the top of the screen here. Just get rests when you can. Obviously, when you're racing, try to work with the people you're with, whatever ability you can. But also take your turn at the fronts. So I find a lot what's going on with me here watching these playbacks is most of the riders attack the hills harder. And when I say hills, little bumps and climbs, they attack them a lot harder than I do. We're going to flip to a map mode right away here. So you can see we just came over that little bridge. You can see how we're all just strung out and that the front end of the race is not that far ahead of us. So there's some like absolute legends, bangers in this race. Jill Matteo, he's at the front. But it's not like he's 20 miles ahead of us. So, if you find yourself in a racing situation where you think, oh man, I'm not very good, these guys are so good compared to me, they're just around the corner from you. They're like right there. Here's me trying to get back on with Roger and Hardy. Sure, at times they're waiting for me. So I can get into Roger's draft here. At this point, seeing Roger, getting into the draft, and knowing these people, like I know Roger, I know Hardy. We chat every day. It's kind of like you're in your little comfort zone. Like I'm back with my team. It's not just some random person I don't know who, is out to kill me, right? Just beat me in any way possible. Tomas is still here with us, working well in the group. I'm getting a bit of a draft here from Tomas. Looking good. Still pushing, 3 watts per kilo. And this is like my normal pace right around here somewhere. Little tiny bit of a bump. And I'm just struggling here. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit of gas. Let's get back on with Roger and Hardy, especially since I know they've waited for me. So they've waited. I'm going to roll on through. And now it's my turn to pay them back a little bit. From what I remember in the race here, I took a pretty decent pull at the front. I know they waited for me. I've slowed them down. So hopefully they'll sit on my wheel for quite a bit here, which that looks like what's happening. Let's see what happens on the little bit of a hill here. Do I actually put any power into it? 3.6, 3.7? Okay, so maybe they'll sit behind me for a little bit more. I'm sure they'll jump by at some point. Yeah, here they come. So Hardy's whipping on by now. Give a little bit of gas up the hill. Here comes Roger on my right in the red jersey. I think that's Roger's usual thing. He's always in that red jersey. I kind of switch mine in and out quite a bit. Maybe I shouldn't do that. And again, you can see Bashak, very strong rider. He's only, 200 meters ahead of us. And Bashak's always involved in one of the very, very front groups of the race. So it's not like we're miles behind. So whenever you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, like I'm not, you're in the race. You are in the race for sure. Just you're going to be in little races within that race. Roger taking another turn at the front. And, great work for Roger too. I know he's a little bit under the weather right now. Hardy coming through on the left. Some new riders ahead too. I think I might have seen this name before too. We're all trying to hunt down this, looks like GT ZR 3000. M. Kelly, another brand new name, strong rider up there. This GTR 3000 is not that far ahead of us. We're working hard to bring them back. And, the 3 of us taking turns, drafting, resting when we can. We're going to bring this person back. So it looks like GTZR 3000. Let's call him GT. GT 3000. Everyone will know who you are. So up ahead, I can see Bike Rider 9 with Pavel, with Bashak. Those are the big hitters. I'm pretty happy that we're only 200 meters behind them at this point. So here you can see on the screen, here's GT just ahead of us. Reeling them back. We're down to 60 meters. All taking good turns. Back to another map view. You can see we're just all spaced out and everyone's flying here. We're all doing over 40K an hour. Pretty much pan flat, like I said, right? Okay, so hauling back. Under 60 meters now to GT. Still working well, this team at the front, this group that I'm in here. There's I think the front is actually a 5-rider break, and then a smattering of riders in between. At the end, I think the group I'm in is like 6 riders maybe. So getting close to GT. So GT is kind of in no man's land. Best thing for GT to do here, honestly, is wait. With half the race still to go, 3 riders chasing you, the best thing you can do is wait and get in our group. Wait for the next freight train coming up behind you and just jump in, take a bit of a break, and catch some air, and then get back in and help us. So we're down to just over 30 meters. I'm coming through again. Everyone's doing a good job here. Okay, I can see, yep, Lars K71 is right with Bashak, part of that very front group. M. Kelly's up there. So here we are, we're just reeling back in GT, and I could see some like low numbers from them there. That's them waiting. Now they're giving a little bit of gas here. They don't want us to just blow right by on this little uphill section. You got to be careful about that sometimes. If you let off, the people's closing speed behind you is so fast that before you realize it, I know this, they'll blow right past you. Something funny happens here. Funny but not funny. You can see how my power drops off here. And I'm looking at this going, for a second there, I don't know why, I saw the red and I thought Roger was coming up on my left. So I was trying to let him pass me. But guess what? That's me. I'd kind of lost track of where Roger was at this point. And I saw the red jersey just on the left on the corner of the screen. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to let off here to let him pass me. I don't want to make it seem like I'm drag racing him when, we're trying to work together. Hardy's taken off up the road here. And that's what happened to me there, is because I let off so much. I let off to 1.5 watts per kilo, and I got dropped. Good thing is, it looks like I'm going to bring him back. Hardy's not going all out here as hard as they could go. I don't know if he saw what happened there, but yeah, I thought, it was just insane. I was letting off to let someone pass me that wasn't there. So yeah, next time I'm going to move my view out a little bit further so I can watch exactly who I am better on the screen. So here I am in the safety Hardy's wheel. Who else do we got here? I can't see the name right now clearly. Oh, it's GTZ. Yeah, so GTZ 3000 is with us. Hardy, myself. We've got someone up. Oh, that's GTZ again. And GTZ's in the whitish jersey, more white jersey than anything. I'm in the black and red. Hardy's in the blue and black. And we're all just kind of rolling along here. Not going too crazy. I think there was a little bit of a lull here. We're all doing a lot of 2.5, 2.8 stuff. No one's really wanted to hammer. We're probably all getting a little bit out of breath here. You can look. We're all doing 40K an hour too. We're rolling hard here. So it's just kind of a little bit of a lull in the action. And the front group is now just over 300 meters ahead of us. 300 meters to one of the riders, and then out to 400. So again, the fastest people in the race aren't that far ahead. They're they're just around the corner from us. If they stopped, put their foot down, we'd be on them. Wouldn't take that long at all. Okay, back to a little map view. You can see we got people right behind us as well. There's multiple little groups chasing us. Probably 3 groups. One rider might be riding solo back there. It's hard to tell at this point. Here's Hardy coming back up again. Hardy rode this race really strong today. Really pulled me along very nicely. So it looks like we're getting a bit serious again here. Back over that 3 watts per kilo stuff. Heading up the hill. There goes GTC, puts in a little bit of a kick. Hardy counters. 5-6 watts per kilo at this point. You see how quickly that happens too. They've already put 10, 12 meters into me because I didn't kick with them. I just kept rolling at my 3 watts per kilo, which I got to fix that. I mean, I just let that happen right before my eyes, right? You guys all saw it. Uh, but again, I've got a bit of a downhill here, switching some gears up. I'm going to do my best to get back on. So now they're out to 40. Hardy's 48 meters ahead of me. GTZ's almost at 70 meters ahead of me. Our next rider up the road is M. Kelly, another new rider, and then I see Bashak, Pavel. They're 500 meters ahead of us at this point. And the whole field is pretty compressed behind us. There's not like big gaps. I think there's one rider that started very late, a rider I don't know, like extremely late to the group. They probably just jumped in and saw the ride and went for it. So cruising along, I'm trying to get back on again here. So here I am again, pulling my way back. I'm having to work hard here because of just not paying attention. Now there, you saw M. Kelly. Looks like M. Kelly had a disconnect, which is very unfortunate because M. Kelly looked like they would have been top 6, 7 places, something like that. So I'm kind of working extra hard here now to catch on. I got to do like 3+ watts per kilo for a mistake I made earlier. And the good thing is I get back on. You can see at the top, I'm already back into the draft. Loving it. Feel safe again. Back with GTZ and Hardy. We've got Lars K and Bashak close together up ahead of us. Looks like the three of us here are hammering pretty good together. Now, I know there's some people chasing us pretty hard too. They're going to be coming up soon. So again, up the hill again. These guys always seem to be putting out more than me. Their numbers are going into like the red color, and I'm just kind of I'm not working hard enough here. I should be dropping 4 watts per kilo plus up these little grades because you can see the gap they get. It's important to pay attention when you're racing. When you see these things happen, you have to counter immediately. So now I'm working hard again, 4.5 watts per kilo to try to make my way back up to Hardy again, who I do manage to pull up to. Looks like he's let off a little bit here. I'm back on. Heart rate, check it out. Top left-hand corner, you can see it underneath the power output. My heart rate's at 187 right now. So not super crazy for me. I've seen that a lot. 188, it just switched to. But, I'm huffing and puffing here a little bit. I can see GTZ just ahead, and I'm like, just keep the pressure on, keep the pressure on. Get over the top of this rise and see what we can do on the next little downhill and flat. I'm not really sure how much power they're putting out. Is their 3 watts per kilo the same as my 3 watts per kilo? And that's something you always got to think about when you're in these races watching people's numbers, because you do have the advantage of knowing what kind of power they're putting out. Well, what you do know is their watts per kilo, but you don't really know how much power they're putting out. If they're a 60 kilogram rider and they're putting out 3 watts per kilo, that's 180 watts. If you're a bigger rider like myself, 90 kilograms. So check this out here. We just had 2 new riders come up. We had this user and the other name, I know it was like PON something or other. Hardy jumps on them right away. These 2 were in a group like chasing like demons behind us. And they caught us here on that little bit of an uphill. Also, we've got Kribo, I think it's 1951. So they've gapped up to us, and you can see the yellow bubble just ahead of us. So now all of a sudden there's like 6 of us here. 5 of us, I think. Yeah, I keep losing track of me. And, okay, so yeah, that's GTZ just up the road. So he went on a flyer, took off from us. Are we going to bring him back? He's 70 meters ahead right now. We're coming into like, the dying moments of the race. We've only got 2 clicks to go. I think people are getting antsy. So we got Hardy, Kribo, 1951. We'll just call him Pawn. Myself, all chasing GTZ. Pulling him back, though. Definitely pulling him back at this point. Everyone's working hard. 3 to 4 watts per kilo through here. Looks like I'm hanging onto the back end for dear life. But, we're all kind of taking our turns, rolling through here. GTZ is probably, thinking, wow, they got me again. I better slow up again now. Get back in the group and get some rest with these guys. If GTZ keeps trying, they're just going to wear themselves out, and then we are just going to roll right past them. So he's, just a handful of meters ahead of us now. Back into the fold. Looks like it's more flat than It's more downhill now and flat than anything. Whipping around these cars here. Okay, yeah, 5 of us at least anyways. 6 of us. Okay, GTZ is very racy. Takes another little jump across the intersection there. Probably testing us all out. Pawn goes with him. Coming up on my right side is Crebo 1951, brand new name to our race series. We're down to under 500 meters to go. There's an important 180-degree turn coming up here. You're going to see it right away. It's like a hairpin right at the end of these palm trees here. We whip around that, and at this point, some people start going like, Hardy's gone now. Hardy must have reconned this because he's gone. I react a little bit late. Everyone's reacting here. I decide to put a sprint in. I'm out 8, 9 watts per kilo, 9.5 watts per kilo. I think I caught one rider there and finished in 13th place overall. So what I did here was I jumped out of the race, but guess what? The race is still going on. There's still people out there. So we are going to jump into that section now and see all the fun battles that happen behind us. So I've sped it up a little bit here, and I was jumping around. So here's Kryzen. Kryzen's a member of our Discord group, doing a great job here. Here's Roger. This is Roger finishing at this point right here. Moss, 1976. This is a rider that was with me earlier on in that group. Don is another rider we've met. He's part of the Discord group. Don just recently took an adventure out to Hawaii and rode Mauna Kea. Just coming around the corner, Don's coming to the finishing chute here, pushing out well over 3 watts per kilo. Look, a little blip up to 5 watts per kilo there. Finished easy by himself. Here's a bit of a battle going on. So I was jumping around trying to find the battle. So we got Kraken 71 and Gidgar, a name I don't know. They're having a good little battle here. Sped it up a little bit, so it's 50% faster than what it should be playing. Here's John Hallis riding by himself. Then we're back to Mumu 120. Great first effort out here with us. He's going to finish by himself. He's chasing hard after John, but John's got enough. So here's Gidgar going. Puts in some power, just gets that little bit of a gap on Kraken. And at that point, the race is so short, it's over now. This is exactly what happened to me. I should have sprinted before that last corner, sprinting into the corner. Here comes John House. So John's now coming up to the hairpin turn here with Mumu chasing him. And you can see here, John on the screen, and the yellow bubble behind him, that's Mumu chasing right now. They're going to see each other, passing each other right there. I think it's pretty cool to look at the map here. So, like, Mumu's just coming up on the hairpin turn now. So he was reeling him in. John's got some good power there, just rolling across the finish line. Here comes Mumu. See what he does at the end here. I'm not sure if I caught all this, but, well over 3 watts per kilo. This is great racing. Gives a little dig, out to 11 watts per kilo there. Nice, strong sprint. Back to Stick here. Looks like Stick is riding alone. Got a 200-meter gap back to Kristen. Kristen's been in a lot of our races. She's part of Gem City race team. Jumping back to BS and Jewel Bulle, maybe is how you say it. Eat More Cake. Been, I think, in almost every one of our races. And this Rossa Duke here, I've seen that name a lot. See them all over Rouvy, actually. And look at this at the back here. Tracy Styles. She's at probably the last hardest part, the last bit of climbing here, and riding with Oscar. I just jumped back there to show you the final rider on course. If you look at the profile, you can see they started so late. They're that yellow bubble way on the left-hand side. So Kristen's coming to the finish here. One more turn here, one more right-hander. Coming to the finish, riding super strong, 3 watts per kilo, 3.5. We've got BS1 here being pursued by Jewel Bulle. Jewel Bulle, she's reeling him in right at this point. Very strong rider behind. Yeah, she's pushing really good here, 3.5 watts per kilo. She's chasing hard. I think BS just has enough. He's just getting to the finish line now. Think if that race was a kilometer longer, I think Jewel might have caught him. Took a little look back here at EC Norton out doing their thing. And at this point here, I'm like, wow, Oscar is right with Tracy. And so I decided what to do here was I'm going to follow the race right to the end of these people here. I'd like to have EC as well, but since they started so late, we're going to be sitting here for another 15 minutes. Who are we on here? Eat More K coming to the finish. Again, involved in lots of our race series. Here's Ross Duke. And we got Danon, another Gem City member. I've heard recovering from a bit of an injury. Just getting through this baby here today. EC Norton again. So here's Oscar. So it looks like Tracy is starting to pull away from Oscar. She's doing a great job out there today. So yesterday, Tracy's husband, Nobby Styles, rode the entire Ventoux circle. So he had a great day out yesterday. So you can see Ross is just coming to the finish, being pursued by Danon at this point. And then I think it's Mimo. Hopefully you guys can all see that when I flip the map view over and over there. But yeah, I just want to cover everyone here. Danon's taking the hairpin now. With Mimo 150 something meters back. And then we've got our final two, Tracy and Oscar. So Danon's got his position locked up. Mimo will have theirs knocked up as well. Sorry, it's Nemo. And then let's see what happens with Tracy and Oscar. That's going to be the big battle. Now, they've still got 1.6 kilometers to go. I probably should have sped the video up more at this point. You'll see that they are very close together here. You know, it's a matter of 50 meters. You know, riding very smooth. I'm going to just keep bouncing back and forward between these two and see what happens. They're currently just 1.5 kilometers from the finish. So at times yesterday during the Ventoux Circle, we're all on Discord. I keep mentioning the Discord group. Feel free to join us. I'll make sure that the Discord link is the active one. They time out after a while. I think it's a week. And it was Tracy was responding to some of the Discord chat stuff for Andrew, aka Nobby Styles. So that was kind of cool. I think he was on the bike close to 6 hours yesterday with 3,500 meters of climbing. That was an event put on by Muckers. Okay, so where are we at now? Oh, right around the corner. So they're like one corner apart from each other at this point. So Oscar's moving up hard now, dropping 3 watts per kilo, coming up behind Tracy. 20-meter gap. Looks like Oscar's going to go by her. Let's take a look at where the finish line is. It's right around the corner. Like, we're getting close now. We're going to take the left-hander up ahead, beside that big building. Going to go down a straightaway to the hairpin corner. So you can see here, Oscar went by during the map view. That's what's happened there. So Oscar's now heading down the straight to get onto the hairpin corner. Here he is, whipping around the hairpin corner. Tracy's right on him. I mean, 50-something meters apart. Oscar's taking the final bend at this point, and I did want to show all this because on our race results, Tracy shows up as a DNF. But I'm on Tracy. This is her finishing the race right now. Oscar's just past the finish line. Tracy's cruising along here. She would have just went under the finish line when I cut away there. So anyway, Tracy did finish our race. Hopefully someone can fix that. Anyway, that was the GRC Sunday short race in Singapore. This race will run every Sunday. There'll be extra rides added in as well. Thanks for joining us.